Hello there, this is CAN by AN Kenan from Kenan Plays, and today we're going to play part 50. Wow, we're going to play part 50 of No One, Absolutely No One. But you guys, thank you for staying with me even until part 50. That's a miracle, right? Anyway, let's load the data and see what's going to happen if his dad is going to come home, make it in the home for time or not. Most probably, I don't think he will, and that's the reason why Hedy is most probably going to jump in the river or something like that. Alright, let's just see what's going to happen. Another 2 hours went by, and we still heard nothing from Dad. There was no car pulling in the driveway, no familiar knock on the front door, no cheerful happy birthday Hedy, not even a phone call. Mum tried to remain optimistic, but I could tell her smile was faltering. She started to wring her hands together, glancing at the clock every 5 minutes or so. Where could he be? It isn't like him to stay away home for this long without calling. Even without me saying anything, China noticed my distress. She reached forward and took my hand, threading her pale fingers between mine. I'm sure it'll be alright, Hedy. Maybe there was a traffic jam? Yep, that's probably it, a traffic jam. I repeated her words under my breath, albeit without any conviction. My words trailed off into thin air, lost in the living room, which seems to be growing colder by the minute. I hope his dad is not in an accident or something like that, right? That's why, the dad just disappeared. I was indignant about this at first, but now I can't bring myself to feel angry. Maybe it's because of the frightened look on Mum's face. I'm not mad at Dad anymore, instead I'm anxious. Mum's right, he would have called if anything came up. Why hasn't he phoned us? Just what is going on? At that moment, I heard the sound of knocking on the door. Most people in my situation would feel relief upon hearing the sound, but knowing my dad, the sound brought nothing of the sort. After all, Dad wouldn't be bothered knocking at all. He would just barge right in, wearing a silly smile on his face, apologizing for his absence. So it was at that moment I finally realized something was horribly wrong. I'll get it! Although she tried to act natural as she approached the door, Mum's voice told me she was every bit as scared as I was. We both instinctively knew something horrible was about to happen. When my mum opened the door, our fears were confirmed. Excuse me, are you Mrs. Naito? Standing in our doorway was a solitary police officer. He wore a neutral expression on his face as though he didn't want to either relieve or worry us. But he failed miserably. My mum stand before him, nervously rubbing her arms, while heart pounding so hard I think I was going to vomit. Yes, that's right, I'm Mrs. Naito. I'm afraid I have some bad news, ma'am. Is it about my husband? That's right, your husband, Although he maintained a stern expression until this point, the police officer looked incredibly anxious. His eyes darted here and there, resting everywhere but on my mother's face. I'm sorry, Mr. Naito. There was an accident. Your husband's car was tailed end by a speeding truck. He was pronounced dead on the scene. Crap! That's how the dad died. But it doesn't seem like the dad was speeding. That's why he died, right? He was hit by another truck. Crap, that sucks. Died? Dead? My husband is dead? The officer continued talking, spluttering as he spoke. He spoke many platitudes telling how quick my father's death must have been and how he didn't suffer. But once again, his goodwill had the opposite effect. How could the police officer know that it didn't hurt? He wasn't the one who was hit by the truck. My dad was. My dad, the man who helped me learn how to ride a bike and cheer for me at athletics event, and went hunting for cicadas with me in the forest on weekends. He couldn't be. I saw him only this morning. He said happy birthday, Hedy, and kissed atop my forehead, then promised he'll be back from work in time for dinner. He promised. My dad is a good father. He never breaks his promise. Although I continued telling myself that my father couldn't possibly be dead, I already knew the truth. No matter how good a father he was, Dad was only mortal. Getting hit by a truck, he didn't have a chance. Faced with that harsh truth, I began to question why. Why did he have to die? Why was it so sudden? This feels like a scene from a movie or some kind of bad joke. I half expected the police officer to yell, "Just kidding!" and I have a camera crew emerge from behind his back. You know what? No one will kid about this. Not even Japanese humor, This could be like one of those TV shows dedicated to pranking celebrities. But I don't think they will do that even. But this isn't. This is reality. My dad is really dead. He's nothing more than a lump of meat inside a crushed car, a splash of blood on the outside of the road. That's all that's left of him. Not even his goofy smile will remain. Gone. It's all gone. If only I had told him to come home fast. If I hadn't told him to come home faster. If only I hadn't been so impatient. Mom was right. My cake wasn't going anywhere. But Dad. Now Dad is never going to come back. It's all my fault. Heidi. China looked at me with concern in her eyes, reached out for my hand, but I didn't want her sympathy. I batted her hand away as my whole body shook. I could feel something rising up from within my stomach, snaking its way through my body, up to the back of my throat. What came out of my mouth was a scream, a loud, desperate howl, like that of a wild animal. Howl! Wait, it's weird. That's weird, right? Why would you howl out of sadness? I don't think anyone ever howl out of sadness, right? That's weird. And once I started, I couldn't stop howling. Oh, okay, wait. I continued to scream. Okay, he was screaming, not howling. My throat tore, my eyes watered, and I could no longer hold anything back. Heidi! Heidi? Mom turned away from the police officer and rushed towards me, her eyes wide open with concern. She bent down, attempting to hug me, but I threw her off. Me? Witnessing my mom's failure, China tried to approach me again. I felt a light pressure against my back. Her arms encircled me, her head resting against my back. I shuddered, attempting to draw breath, but it's hard. Everything hurts. My vocal cords feel as though they have been cut into two with a pair of scissors, and my knees trembled. Heidi, please come down, don't cry. So she says, but from a wavering voice, even without looking at her, I can tell she's crying too. China got along well with my dad, even if they didn't know each other well. His death took its toll on her. No, that's not it. She doesn't care that he's dead, neither does that damn policeman. They just want me to shut up and be quiet. My pain is an inconvenience to them. What? Hey, Heidi, you are being a spoiled brat again. What they feel isn't sadness, it's pity. And I want none of that. Before I knew what was happening, I was running. I had shaken China off me, bolted through the front door, and ran without hesitation. Well, because of you being spoiled, right, Heidi? Your father died, and most probably China's gonna die because she's gonna save you again. So you killed a total of 2 persons because you're so spoiled. When I finally came to a halt and gathered my bearings, I realized where I was. My legs carried me here subconsciously, even though I didn't have a particular escape route in mind. I ran to the bridge upon which I first met China. It's the river, the same river where I first met China. Why did I come here? Is it because of all the good memories I have of this place, playing with China? I think that everything could be reset if I ran away from reality. It's understandable that I want to run away to return to my own life, but that isn't possible. Now done is done, and it can't be taken back. I can't go back in time. I can't change the past. I can't do anything. All I can do is cry. No, that isn't strictly true. There's something I can do, something I have to do. My impulsive word caused my father's death. If I hadn't told him to hurry, he would have kept a closer eye on the road, and maybe he wouldn't have been hit by the truck. It's all because of me, it's my fault. So in that case, I deserve to be punished. I deserve to be killed. When people commit murder, they are usually given the death penalty. That's fair, that's justice, that's how the legal system works. And that's what I should do right now. I stared at the rushing water in the river below. It looked dirtier than it did when I saw China swimming in there. The water was dark, still and steely, a milky green. It was something I didn't want to touch, let alone submerge myself in. Nonetheless, I took a few tentative steps forward, staring at my distorted reflection within the water. Can I really do this? Should I? You know what? You should just ask the devil to get out of your head, Heidi. I know that I didn't really kill father. It wasn't my fault. It was the driver of the truck. I couldn't have done a thing to stop it from happening. But I don't want to accept that. If I accept that it has nothing to do with me, then that will be the same as accepting that Dad's death was unpreventable. That was meaningless. I continued to stand there, staring at the water, immersed in my own thoughts. Heidi! Shouts Mom. Heidi-kun. You know what, Heidi? There are still people that cares about you. Two voices rang out from behind me. As I turned around, I found Mom and China running towards me down the dirt path along the riverbank. They really do look worried about me. Mom's face is pale as though she has just seen a ghost, and China's wearing an expression of pity. I straightened my back and took a step towards them away from the river, but just as I did, I tripped and fell. Wah! As I moved out, I felt my foot catch on something, be it a rock or root or something else entirely. It responded to my death wish and sent me tumbling backwards. I tried to balance myself, terrified by the falling sensation, but without anything to hold on to, I could only fall. Heidi! Alright, so this all happened. Submerged cold, bereft of oxygen, I entered the river. Stinking down the depths, unable to fight the current, I drifted helplessly, endlessly, as my body was taken below. So this is it, huh? This is what I wished for. Peace and quiet away from everyone, a punishment I can accept. The further I sank, the less inclined I felt to try and swim to the surface. My thoughts clouded with a sense of relief. I had no desire to continue fighting. I just wanted to submit and let it all end. Why did I hesitate? I should have done this from the start. No, you shouldn't. This is the only way I can atone for what I did. The only way I can ever leave it down, so to speak. I just hope that China and Mom are okay. It'll be tough on Mom on losing her entire family in one day, but she'll be better off without me. You know what, Heidi? Your train of thought is just very bad. I'm glad when you grew up, you became much better. You know what, Heidi? I'm really glad about that. Is this how you pronounce it? You're awake. Hey? China just grew up. China? Shh. It's alright, don't move, I'm here. I blinked as the sun burned my eyes. The entire world was white, as though I had been submerged in darkness until just a moment ago. I'm sorry, Heidi. I really am sorry. The figure in front of me sobered back for forgiveness. I could barely make out the image before me, but even without my eyes adjusting, I knew who it was. China? I reached out toward China's face, wanting nothing more than to stop her from crying, but I had no idea why she's crying or what I could do to make her stop. All I know is that the inside of my mouth tasted stale and dirty, as though I had been drinking dirty water. I tried to lift my arm to my face as I coughed up water, but I soon realized I couldn't. My body had no strength left. I'm sorry, Heidi. I really am. I'm sorry you had to suffer so much. Why is China crying? Why is she apologizing? Did she do something to me? Did she push me into the river or something? Did I nearly drown? It would be better if you forget about me, Heidi. Just forget about everything. That way, you don't need to be sad anymore. As China spoke, I felt the last of my strength leave my body. My eyes slowly closed and I lost all consciousness. Alright. As Mom's story finally ended, I could only stare at her blankly from across the kitchen table, as if I had awoken from a horrible nightmare. I had actually stopped listening to her a while ago, overcome as my own memories filled in the blanks, because now, prompted by my mother's story at long last, I remember. You know what? The title of this series will be I Remember, which you can see below. And all of this came from this line, I remember. I could remember so clearly, I didn't understand why I could have forgotten to begin with. China, I know her. We were friends, we used to play together almost every day. That's right. Mum nodded her head wearily. Although the time you spent with her wasn't very long, she was your closest friend. The two of you were joined at the hip. You went everywhere together, you did everything together. It was quite a sight to behold. My mum smiled to herself as she spoke, indulging in nostalgia. Your father always used to tease you, asking when the marriage ceremony was going to take place, and you would get so mad, Heidi. You hit him a few times, but you were too young to really hurt him. Your father just laughed. He was always such a lively person, he never stopped smiling, rather until he died. My mother's face faded as I spoke those unnecessary words. That's right, he died on your birthday at that. It was a terrible shock, perhaps even more than falling into the river. That's what the doctors said when you were in hospital. They said it must have been the news about your father, coupled with the stress of almost drowning, that wiped your memory. They call it an act of self-preservation, forgetting in order to protect yourself. And China? Why did I forget her too? Her too. I brought her up now and then, but the look you gave me was so blank. I knew you couldn't remember her, not a single thing. It was mortifying, but perhaps it was a good thing. You already had to deal with the loss of your father. Adding any more misery into that would have been cruel. So China, my fingers clenched into a fist. I don't want to ask this question, but I have to. I've come so far now, and this is the very last piece of the puzzle. I think I have a good idea about what happened already, but I want to hear it from my mother's lips first. No matter how painful it is, I need to know the truth. What happened to China? My mother froze for a second, dreading the moment when this question would arise. She cared for you so much, Heidi. When you ran away, she went after you. She tried to stop you. She tried to get you to stop. But when you fell in the river, my mom choked on her own words. She was always such a good swimmer. Her parents said she was like a mermaid. She would always swim in that river, even though the signs said not to. But it never seemed to bother China, at least not until that day. So, she drowned? My mum nodded. That's right, China was unable to save you, but towing you back to shore must have been too much for her small body. I managed to rescue her from the river, but it wasn't good enough. It was no good. She had swallowed too much water. No matter what I did, she didn't wake up. I suddenly stared at my mother, unwilling to accept what she said to me. China Misaki, my best friend, died. She died in order to save me. She towed me back to shore, depleting the entirety of her energy until she could no longer keep afloat. She died because I tried to kill myself. The gravity of what happened weighed me down so heavily. In one day, I killed two of the people closest to me. I killed two good, kind, caring people, all because of my selfish, impatient personality. True, this line is true. But it's not just that. She died trying to save me, and forgetting about her, I forgot about her. I completely forgot about her sacrifice. Maybe that's why she came back to me after all these years. As I returned to the scene of her death, she wanted to see me one last time to say goodbye to the boy who killed her. Not only did she die for me, she revived for my sake too. True, throughout her entire life, even after her death, I've been an insurmountable burden to her. I kept her from passing on, kept her from overseeing her family from above. I kept her chained to this planet ever since that day. And now after all this time, she will finally know peace. Well guys, we are about to reach the 20 minutes mark, and I think he will most probably reunite with China. Okay, so I think I'll end this episode here, and yeah, most probably the next episode might be the last episode, so please stay tuned for China's episode, alright? I'll see you guys in the next episode or next part. Goodbye! Whoa. Did you get scared? Well, subscribe to my channel and I promise you'll never get scared again. Or watch more videos. and you will be able to find your peace in life.